In this video, we'll study about Kirchhoff's voltage law. Now, Kirchhoff's voltage law is also called loop rule. It is called loop rule because it is generally applied in a closed loop in a circuit. In a circuit, we take a closed loop and then we apply this Kirchhoff voltage law. So, it is also called the loop rule. And this law states that in any loop of the circuit, the sum of all EMFs of the battery, all the batteries have their EMF 20 volt, 10 volt. So the sum of all EMF of the batteries and potential drops across resistors in that loop, the potential drop and the EMF, the sum of all of them is equal to 0. So that means how we apply it on a circuit. That means suppose this is a circuit given to us. These are two batteries, let us say their EMF are E1 and E2, and there are two resistors, say R1 and R2. So we apply this loop rule. So now we see that this is forming a closed loop, so there must be current flowing in this. So let us say the current is in clockwise direction. We do not know whether this is the actual direction of current, but that will be found out when we solve the equations. So for now we are assuming that the current is going in this one in the clockwise direction and the value of current is I1, and let us say that we have points A, B, C, D as the four corners of the loop. Then in this closed loop A, B, C, D, A, this is a closed loop, the current I1 is in clockwise direction. So now we have to make an equation, and this equation will be equal to 0. We have to add all the EMFs which are E1 and E2 and all the potential difference across R1 and R2 and add them all, and that sum will be equal to 0. Now how do we make the equation? So we can use two methods. The easier method to understand and to remember is that the direction of the current is always positive. So if we have taken I1 and we are moving in the direction of I1, then it will be taken as positive. And so let us say that we are moving in this direction. So let us say we are starting from B. So in loop B, C, D, A, B, because the loop should be closed, so we are going to start from B and end to B, and we are moving in this direction. Now this has current I1 moving in this direction, so the potential difference here will be equal to I1 R1. Then this current I1 is entering the negative terminal of the battery E2, so I will write minus E2 as it is entering the negative terminal. If it were entering the positive terminal, then I would have written plus E2. It is going inside the negative terminal of the battery, so I am writing minus E2, then plus the potential difference across this, which is I1 R2, and again this current is entering the negative terminal, so this will be equal to minus E1, and thus this will be the entire sum, and this should be equal to 0. So if we simplify this, then I1 will be equal to R1 plus R2, and this should be equal to E1 plus E2. So from this the current I1 can be written as E1 plus E2 upon R1 plus R2. Now this we can also use another concept to write this equation. Now in that concept we know that in the direction of current, I will write it here, in direction of current the potential decreases. That means as we are moving along with I1 the potential will decrease. That means E1 should be at higher potential than the potential at R1, because the current is going from E1 to R1, so E1 should be at higher potential and R1 should be at lower potential compared to E1. So that means it will be E1 minus I1 R1. Then there will be E2 will be, if we move further, E2 will be at higher potential because it is a battery. Battery will because of the battery there will be a gain in the potential. The battery is connected in the direction of current, so it will add to the potential. So that means we will have plus E2 here, and the current at the potential on R2 will be lower than the potential at E2. So again we will write I1 R2. Now remember, again I'll repeat again that here what we did is to use the concept that in the direction of the flow of current the potential always decreases. So that's why E1 is at higher potential than the potential difference across R1. Then due to E2 there will be a gain in potential, and at R2 again the potential will decrease. So that's why E1 and E2 are coming positive, and I1 R1 and I1 R2, which are at lower potential, are coming as negative. And the sum of all these potentials will be equal to 0. So we will get E1 plus E2 equals to I1 R1 plus R2. So again E1 plus E2 upon R1 plus R2 will be equal to I1. So we are getting the same result. So you can use any method which seems convenient to you. So now we will study about how to apply. I'll take an example on how to apply this Kirchhoff's voltage law. So let us say that this circuit is given to us in which three batteries are connected this way, and this is 20 volt battery, this is 10 volt battery, and this is 5 volt, and there are these resistors connected. This is 2 ohm resistor, this is 3 ohm, this is 5 ohm, this is 3 ohm, and this is 4 ohm resistor, and we have to apply the KVL. So again first we have to take the direction of current. So we'll again assume the direction to be in clockwise. So let us say this is I1 in clockwise, and in this loop we have I2. So we have two loops here. So in this loop there is a current I1 moving in clockwise direction like this. It will go like this. So I1 will pass through 2. Then here in this branch I1 will go downward, and here I1 will go this way and complete the loop. Similarly in this loop I2 will flow so in this direction, because I2 is also flowing in clockwise direction. So it is go like this, and then I2, then here, and then in this branch the I2 will go upward. So in the middle branch there are two currents, I1 going downward and I2 going upward. So we have to make sure we notice this during the formation of equations. Now if we take equation for each loop separately, so for first loop, this loop, the equation will be 2I1, and then here 4I1, but also through this resistor I2 is moving in upward direction. So since we are moving in clockwise and I2 is moving in upward, so we are moving opposite to this. So we'll take the direction in which our current is moving, I1, as positive. So I2 will be in negative direction for this particular case, and we will write it as 4I2. The potential here due to I2 will be minus 4I2. Then there is a battery here, and we are entering the positive terminal of the battery. So we will write it as 10 volt. Then we come here, again the potential will be 3I1, and then we are entering again the positive terminal of the battery, 20 volts. So again it will be 20 volt, and the sum of all these potentials will be equal to 0. So now when we solve this, we'll get the equation 9I1 minus 4I2, and the potential will be 10 plus 20, 30, and if we move it on the other side, this will be equal to minus 30. Or we can write this equation as 4I2 minus 9I1 equals to 30. So this will be our first equation. Similarly for second loop, if we make this equation, if we start from here, say, then the first potential difference will be equal to 3I2. Then we are entering the positive terminal of the battery, so it will be plus 5. Then here it will be 5I2. Then we are entering the negative terminal of the battery. In 10 volt battery we are going inside the battery through negative terminal, so it will be written as minus 10. Then in this resistor there are two currents. Now since we are moving in the direction of I2, so we will have plus 4I2, and I1 is going in our opposite direction, so it will be minus for I1, and all of these potentials, the sum of them will be equal to 0. So now if we solve this, we'll get 12I2 minus 4I1, and the potential, the EMF will be minus 5, so we will take it on this side, so it will be plus 5. So this will be our second equation. Now we have two linear equations and we have two variables I1 and I2. We can easily solve them. So I will write the answers directly. You can solve them yourselves. So solving equations 1 and 2, we get a value of I1 and I2. You can find out these values. These are two simple linear equations. You can easily solve them. And now since we know the values of I1 and I2, we can find the current in any branch and the potential difference between any 2 points. So this is how the KVL, or the Kirchhoff's voltage law, is applied on a circuit. So make sure that you understand the application of KVL and KCL. In the further videos we will do more examples to understand them better, but make sure you understand them because they are very important laws as far as this unit is concerned.